Jordan Ayew and Thomas Partey and the likes. But let's start with Jordan Ayew. His goal involvement for Ghana Black Stars in this World Cup qualifiers. Let's talk about it. 7-7. 7 assists, 7 goals for Ghana Black Stars. Jordan Ayew, Nanaidu.
In the last 15 years, he has been one of the key players in the Black Stars team. Jordan made his debut for the Black Stars way back in ending of 2010. That is where he made his debut for the Black Stars of Ghana. So he has been around this team in the last 15 years when we talk of Ghana football. So one of the experienced guys in our team. Most of these players look up to him when they go to the Black Stars camp. He's a key player to our side. But I think in this current World Cup qualifier, his goal scoring rate has improved because of the kind of performance he's putting up. He had a hat-trick against Central African Republic in Ghana. He has scored against most of the teams in the group. Madagascar, Central African Republic away, and of course other teams in the qualifiers. So Jordan Ayew is one of the key players in our team, the captain of the side. The day Ayew, his senior brother, captained the Black Stars team to the World Cup. He's also on the verge of doing that with this current Black Stars team. So one of the few players in the team who is eager to make an impact in this particular game and make sure he write his name in the history books of Ghana football as one of the captains who have been able to qualify the Black Stars of Ghana to the World Cup is Jordan Ayew. So I'm not really surprised. He's one of the top scorers when it comes to World Cup qualifier, both Africa and European football. And I think he's doing well for the Black Stars team.
He's doing well for the Black Stars team. That is Jordan Ayew looking at his goal involvement. 7 goals and 7 assists for Ghana Black Stars. Now let's talk about Thomas Partey too as well. We know he has also done some crucial stuff for Ghana Black Stars. In crucial moments, that is where you see Thomas Partey popping up to show his, his nature and his resilience nature and his attributes for the Ghana Black Stars. Thomas Partey involvement in the World Cup qualifiers. Nanedi, what can you say about him too as well?
When you look at the Black Stars team, one of the few players, his commitment level when it comes to performance in the Black Stars team is the same as Thomas Partey. The reason why most Ghanaians don't really like him in the Black Stars is because it doesn't look a lot of hard working in the midfield. But in terms of the total output, what we see playing for Arsenal, Villarreal and the likes, we normally see the same thing in the Black Stars team. But because most of the players around him are not the same as players we play against in the English Premier League and of course in the Spanish La Liga, we try to compare those players' performance together with the Black Stars team. But he's one of the few players in the Black Stars team. He's very competent to the Black Stars squad. He's normal player, very good player. Style of play is the same. Give him the ball, you know what to do with the ball. He passes well. On a few occasions, when it matters most, he goes for to score goals for the Black Stars of Ghana. So Thomas Partey, he's one of the very influential players in the Black Stars team. He used to be the deputy captain in the Ayew. After the Ayew, the coach decided to get captain Jordan Ayew. He's not worried. He's a normal player in the team. And he has been consistent since Jordan Ayew became the captain of the side. Thomas Partey is one of the key players to the Black Stars of Ghana.
Thomas Partey is one of the key players for Ghana Black Stars. Are still discussing some key players of the Ghana Black Stars in the World Cup qualifiers. Now let's talk about the star boy that a lot of people know him for, Kudus Mohammed. Also, let's talk about Kudus Mohammed. His contribution to the Ghana Black Stars in terms of the World Cup qualifiers. He's called a star player and a star boy. And in a team, you're not just called a star player for no reason. That means you have a lot of influence in your team when you are called a star player. Kudus Mohammed, star player and star boy for Ghana Black Stars.
Yeah, when you look at the current Black Stars, one of the few players on the pitch, most of these fans come here to watch him, is Mohamed Kudus. They see him week in, week out in the English Premier League, doing wonders for no other team than Tottenham Hotspur, who won the Europa League last season, and they will be competing in the top level of European football this particular season. They've started playing the Champions League already. So Mohamed Kudus is one of the star boys in the Black Stars. In fact, the main star boy in the team. And he's one person, when he hold on to the ball, most of these fans, you see them, ranting very high on him. very key player in the Black Stars team. Mohamed Kudus is an influential player in the team. Most of these young guys who are coming to the Black Stars look up to him. Kamal Din Sulemana, Fatawi Isaku, and Esniama, Abdul Momen, Kali Brenchi, Francis Abu, they all see Kudus as a senior player because they are all coming from the LTD system and of course Northern. So when they see on the Black Stars team, it's an influential player to those players in the Black Stars team. So Mohamed Kudus now in the Black Stars team is one of the influential players and the key players in our midfield.
Kudus Mohamed is one of the most influential players when you talk about the current generation of the Ghana Black Stars team. And let's get into another player who, when you look at his play with his team in England, talking about Antoine Semenyo, and you see that what he does with his club, he tries as much as possible to also do the same when he comes to his country. Antoine Semenyo, when we talk about one of the players who are really doing so much well in their club in the international level, Antoine Semenyo is one player you would name. You look at what he's doing for Bournemouth. Almost every single game, Antoine Semenyo gets himself involved in the goal scoring for Bournemouth. Looking at Antoine Semenyo, he's one of the influential players in this current generation, as you made mention of Kudus Mohamed. Let's discuss Antoine Semenyo, what he's also bringing into the Ghana Black Stars team.
He's the most informed Ghanaian player in Europe now. When you talk of the Ghanaian players who are playing in Europe, he's the most informed Ghanaian player in Europe now. Most of the big clubs are looking for a signature. His team Bournemouth took advantage of the current form he's having. He extended his stay with Bournemouth and he's playing well for the club. One of the key players for Bournemouth, when players like Dominic Solanke left the club, Milos Kekes left the club, Zabani left the club, they are key players, and of course, De Huijsen. Antoine Semenyo has become the most important player in the Bournemouth team, and he has been consistent since last season. So when I speak about he's the most informed Ghanaian player in Europe now, you know where I'm coming from. When you look at the current season that is going on in the English Premier League, after Erling Haaland, he's now the top scorer in the English Premier League after Erling Haaland. It tells you he's very influential in the Bournemouth team and of course the English Premier League. So the problem we have with some of these players when they come to the Black Stars of Ghana is most of these players that they are playing with, the likes of Semenyo and Mark Williams and the like, they don't have fine details about the players they are playing with in the Black Stars setup. That is why the form that you see in their respective clubs, you don't see the same kind of form when it comes to national football. And it's not Ghana alone. Most of the national teams find themselves in a situation like this. We also even find themselves in a situation like this in the Nigerian team. But the Boniface the same. Ademola Lookman the same.
But
Frank Onyeka the same.
What could be the issue? What could be the issue that we find them some way, somehow different when they are playing with their club in terms of their performance, but when they get to their country, the performance is not what we see when they do with their club. What could be the issue? What could be the problem?
There are a lot of factors. One, most of these players who are seen on the phone, they didn't pass through our Premier League system. The current Black Stars players, just look at the first 11. Benjamin Asare is in the local scene.
Yeah.
He said he didn't play in the Ghana Premier League.
Okay.
Mohamed Salisu didn't play in the Ghana Premier League. Alexander Jiku didn't play in the Ghana Premier League. Thomas Partey didn't play in the Ghana Premier League. Kwesi Zibo didn't play in the Ghana Premier League. Abdul Fattah Issa played only half a season for Dream Chelsea before he moved outside the country. Jordan Ayew didn't play in the Ghana Premier League. Mohamed Kudus didn't play in the Ghana Premier League. Antoine Semenyo didn't play in the Ghana Premier League. Ebenezer Annan didn't play in the Ghana Premier League. So you look at the first 11. About Benjamin Asare, who is in the Premier League, and Fattah Issa, who played only half a season for Dream Chelsea in the Premier League. The rest of the players didn't pass to our system. We only located them when they are playing for their respective clubs in Europe. So that commitment and the cohesion among them and the other players in the Black Stars, we don't see them when they are playing. Unlike the previous years, Mike Lesson played with Suale Mutari in Liberty Professionals. My collection player against Sevenapia in under 23 team in 2004. My Tuama played in the local system. As Majan played with most of these players, the Liberty Professional team. John Mensah played for Ashgold. When you look at players like Rashid Sumaila, they all played in the local team before they moved outside the country. And the Kwepapo played in the local league. The right back, John Penty played for Bekum Arsenal before he moved outside the country. So you can see they passed through the football system in this country before they moved outside Europe. When you look at the current club of the Black Stars players, there's a player picking up in LCD, we go bring him. There's a player who is doing well with Nottingham, we go and bring him. There's a player who's playing well in the championship, we go in and bring him. So most of them didn't pass through our football system in this country. That is one. Number two, it boils down to coaching. When you look at the figure, Otuado is a very good coach. But most of these players are in the hands of top-notch coaches when it comes to European football, compared to our coach, Otuado. So most of these players, when they come and meet Otuado, the kind of system they play against in the local scene or the Black Stars of Ghana is different from what they see when it comes to their respective clubs. So that will also take time for them to gel together in the same team. Three, most of them, they are friends in the national team. They are not friends beyond football. But those days, Man Proby Youth, Sevenapia will play there. Most of the players played through the local system. From 1999 to 2001, most of these players played for our youth team. Michael Essien, Adokwe Papo, John Pentil, Derek Boateng, John Mensah, Razak Pempong, Razak Ibrahim were part of that famous Aspanis team that went to the World Cup in 2001 final with Argentina. Saviola scoring that goals for Argentina to win that tournament. They were part of that same team. Most of these players didn't pass to that system when they come to our local football. So that is the reason why most of these players, when they come to the Black Stars of Ghana, you can see there is not much cohesion in their play. But most of them come to see themselves in the national team. They are not really friends from the youth system. So that is one of the problems that is affecting the Black Stars currently when it comes to the Black Stars of Ghana. So I think it's one area we can improve going forward. It has to be a constant effort to make sure most of these players work well together in the national team before they move outside the country. So it's one thing that is affecting our local league. But I think going forward, we will work this around and make sure our Black Stars team will go to the highest level. But they still have a strong squad. It's up to the coach to bring them together to have the bond. So when you are seeing the Black Stars of Ghana playing currently, the individual brilliance is more than the teamwork. The individual brilliance is more than the teamwork. But previous years, my collections have the fine details of the players up front. Yeah. He knows the body language of Asamoah. He knows the body language of my Tuamwa. He knows the body language of Hamidu Dramani. So when he's giving a pass to those players up front, you know where to bring the ball and make sure those players receive the ball. But when it comes about these current players, they don't have fine details about each player they are playing with together in the Black Stars of Ghana. That's the main reason why those players are playing well when it comes to their respective clubs. But it doesn't reflect when it comes to the national team.
Well, that is what Nanedu have made us know about the way that players have a different view and performance compared to their club and their country. And we have barely about 25 minutes left for the kickoff of the game between Ghana Black Stars and Comoros. And we'll be walking straight into the preview of Ghana and Comoros and see the lineup, what players that Coach Otuado will be setting up to face up Comoros. So straight away, let's get into the preview of Ghana and Comoros match. We played with Central African Republic just a couple of days ago, and tonight we are about to kick off with Comoros, a team that have beat us in this qualifiers, and they are the only team that have been able to hand Ghana Black Stars the defeat in this World Cup qualifiers. This means a serious business for Ghana Black Stars. A draw will sail us through, but I'm sure Ghana Black Stars will love to finish this off in a beauty style. But let's take a look at the lineup of the Ghana Black Stars against the Comoros. We have Benjamin Asari in between the post for Ghana Black Stars. It seems to me that Benjamin Asari have cemented his position in the goalkeeping department. for Ghana Black Stars. Nanedu.
He's currently the best goalkeeper for the Black Stars of Ghana now. When you look at our route to this particular stage, we've used Lawrence Atizigi in some of their games, and now we are using Benjamin Asare. He's a master of clean sheets. That is the strength of Benjamin Asare. Right from Great Olympics to Accra House of Hope, the strength of Benjamin Asare is how he organizes defense. So he's a master of clean sheets, and that is one thing he has brought into the Black Stars team that is working for him. I don't see him as, the X-factor goalkeeper that we've seen in recent times in the Black Stars. I don't see him as a long-term successor for somebody like Wichilole Kingston, who was consistent for the Black Stars for close to a decade. But I think in a short period of time that he has been in the post of the Black Stars, he has been consistent in terms of clean sheet and is doing well in terms of organization. Most of these local players, when they are in the post of the Black Stars of Ghana, they fear most of the foreign players when they are organizing them. But because of how he has been able to relate to well with most of these foreign players in the Black Stars camp, communication-wise, is not a problem for him. He's a senior player, even though he's playing in the local league. He has been in our football in the last 15 years, played for different clubs in the local league. So he has got rich experience before he entered into the Black Stars of Ghana. He entered his 30s before he entered into the Black Stars of Ghana. So that experience is there for him when he's in the post of the Black Stars and it's working for him. So Benjamin Asare now, I can say, is a reliable number one goalkeeper for the Black Stars of Ghana.
Reliable number one goalkeeper for the Ghana Black Stars, Benjamin Asare, in between the sticks for Ghana Black Stars. Now let's take a look at the defense setup for Ghana Black Stars. We have Ali Seidu, who will be occupying the right back position. We have Mohamed Salisu and Alexander Jiku, who will be occupying the central back. And we have Ebenezer Annan taking on the left back. Now, in the defensive setup, there has been some changes. Ebenezer Annan, left back. Ali Seidu gets the nod for the right back.
I think in the last 4 years, Mohamed Salisu and Alexander Jiku have proved to us that they are the best centre-back pair in the Black Stars of Ghana. We've tried a lot of players in that particular position. It's not working for us. The most important thing is anytime Jiku is around, he makes the rest of the players around him look comfortable in that particular position. So when Jiku is not around, it makes Mohamed Salisu an ordinary player in the Black Stars team. We saw him against Jonas Adjete in the game we played against Chad in an away fixture. It was normal. But when Jiku came in the game against Mali, he became a world-class central defense. So it means once Jiku is available, most of these players become an expert player for the Black Stars of Ghana. That is why the coach is maintaining that pair in the central defense. That is why they have made changes in the lateral defense. Now, Ali Dusedu has replaced Kali Prenti, who played in the last game. Ebenezer Annan and replaced Gideon Mensah, who played in the last game. So there's an area I think the coach wants to explore more and get other players who can play in that particular position for the Black Stars of Ghana. So I think it's a good decision from the coach, giving players like Ebenezer Annan and of course Ali Dusedu the opportunity to play in the Black Stars team in a competitive pressure game like this against Comoros. So kudos to Otuado for doing that. That will give other players the opportunity when they come to the Black Stars of Ghana, fight to war for that particular position. By Jiku and Mohamed Salisu, I only pray for them in the Black Stars team is for them to be consistent. They will not become in default. Age is not at Jiku's time. Maybe the next World Cup will be his last World Cup. But he's our main pillar in the Black Stars of Ghana. That is one thing that is driving this defense forward, and it's working for them in the Black Stars team.
Well noted there with a defensive setup for the Ghana Black Stars. Right back is Ali Seidu. Left back is Annan Ebenezer. Then we have central pair, Mohamed Salisu and Alexander Jiku. Right, let's get into the midfield of the Ghana Black Stars. We have Thomas Partey pairing with Kwesi Sibo in the central midfield there. And we have Fatawi Sahaku on the right wing. And we have Jordan Ayew occupying the left wing there with Cruz Mohammed in the attacking midfield. Whereas Antoine Semenyo is going to lead the attack there. So this is the lineup for Ghana Black Stars. Benjamin Asare in between the sticks for Ghana Black Stars. We have Ali Seidu, Mohamed Salisu, Jiku, and Annan Ebenezer at the defensive duties. With the midfield, we have Thomas Partey and Kwesi Sibo. In the central midfield, we have Fatawi Sahaku operating from the right wing. We have Jordan Ayew operating from the left wing. We have Kudus Mohammed in the attacking midfield, whereas Antoine Semenyo leading up the attack there. Nanedu, this is the lineup. And what is your take on this lineup coming from Coach Otuado to face off Comoros?
Personally, I think Zibo is playing well with Thomas Partey. The only thing left with Zibo's style of play is the final delivery. He protects very well. Because Zibo is the final delivery. It does not really pass very well. And that is one thing I'm expecting him to improve.
His passing accuracy.
Yes, that is the problem for Zibo. But he's playing well because you can see he's more of a DM than the other players who plays with Thomas Partey in the last team. So one, he provides that shield in front of the back four.
Okay.
He protects very well. He has the strength to protect the back four. But the final delivery is a major problem for Kosovo. So if Kosovo is able to improve on that, he will be the best player for Thomas Partey because that particular position is the position that anytime the Blasters of Ghana have that one player who is there for us, from Mike Lessian to Antoniana to Thomas Partey to Abdul Salis to a free upper to Buba Kwakasu. After all the tacklings and the hard work in the midfield, you still have the eye to pass very well. Way back in 2010, go and look at the pass from Kodasama to Asamada when he scored against that famous team, Angola. In 2015, after that, we went to the final. Buba Kwakasu against Algeria to Asamada. The defensive midfielders should know the body language of the striker of the Blasters team. And I think that is one thing Zibo is lacking. He plays well, he protects well, but he doesn't pass well. If he's able to improve on that side, he will be one of the best in that particular position for the Blasters of Ghana.
Well, that is what Nanedu can also say about Kwesi Sibo, particularly in the central midfield pairing with Thomas Partey. But let's take a look at the attacking wise of the Ghana Black Stars. We have Antoine Semenyo leading the attack for Ghana Black Stars. Well, with our last match with Central African Republic, I didn't see much of Antoine Semenyo, a player who is doing so well in his club, that is Bournemouth, which we thought he's going to transcend that into the national team. But Central African Republic match, we didn't see much from Antoine Semenyo. While hoping that tonight he's leading the attack, we're going to see a different Antoine Semenyo. Nanedu.
Personally, I expect Joseph Pentu to start in the position that Fatai Ishaku is starting. I see Joseph Pentu as a direct player from the right wing. He moves direct and he crosses direct. Fatai Ishaku will cut into the left foot and cross. By that time, when you have a solid defense in the opposition side, he can protect and make sure he defends well against the Blasters of Ghana. For Antoine Semenyo, Mohamed Kudus, and Jordan,